Property Tribes TV is on location at the stunning and historic City Hall in Cardiff for the first ever National Welsh Landlords Day, and I'm delighted to be joined by Douglas Haig, who is Director of Wales for Residential Landlord Association. So welcome, Douglas.
Thank you very much for being here.
Brilliant turnout here today.
It's fantastic.
What was the concept behind the event and why choose to hold it now?
Well, in Cardiff we've had open days before, and it's about getting information out there. That's usually been held by the local authority, but now with the Residential Landlords Association, they very foresightedly appointed me last year to run their Welsh side of things. I thought it was an excellent opportunity to not only get the good news out about what the Residential Landlords Association is doing, but also to let people in Wales know what's going on, because there's a real change coming in Wales. And we've had 2 white papers in less than a year about fundamental changes in housing legislation, and the timing, it was a little bit fortuitous. Today is the second of those white papers that have been launched, and we're fortunate enough to get the Housing Minister to actually talk about that later today. So it's all come together quite nicely.
And what would you say are the main sort of challenges facing Welsh landlords, because it's really centred around regulation, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Basically what's happened is that in I think it was May 2011, Wales got primary legislation rights, so it enabled it to make its own laws, and one of those areas is about housing. So they've done that with a vengeance, and so the first one that they were talking about is it's called WALS, which is the Welsh Agent and Landlord Licensing Scheme. So that is a proposal to require all landlords and letting agents to first of all register and then become licensed to be able to manage and operate their properties in Wales. That's not if you live in Wales as a landlord, that's if you own a property in Wales.
Right, important point.
Yes, exactly. And then the second one is really about how the fundamental structure of tenancies are created in Wales, which is going to hopefully simplify things. But the problem with that is that landlords are going to have to relearn tenancy law in Wales. And so when you combine those 2 factors, as well as a lot of other bits and pieces, you're actually looking at quite a different operational environment to rent homes in Wales compared to England. So there's a lot of people out there that have got properties across the border, and now they're going to have to become multi-skilled.
Absolutely. And you've got some other interesting speakers. One of the topics is universal credit.
Yeah.
You've got Bill Irvine talking about
We're
that.
very lucky to have Bill, yeah.
What do you hope that Welsh landlords will go away from today's event about? Because it's not just about the education, it's also about the networking and meeting suppliers and finding out about the different products that are out there to help them be better landlords. So it's a very comprehensive day out, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know about you, but being a landlord can be quite a lonely thing, and especially when you're first starting out. And I got into it, and I was going to other forums and just to meet landlords and get the experience. And just from here, we've got so far met a landlord as young as 21, and we've got my favourite landlord in the world, Harry Oaten, who's in his late 80s.
Oh, bless.
And oh my word, he knows the legislation inside and out. He's absolutely amazing. And just to have the opportunity to meet the enthusiasm of the younger landlord and the experience of the older landlord is just brilliant. And I think you can see behind you the buzz that's going on here. And I think it's going to be a really good day when you combine it with all the speakers and stalls that we've got as well.
I think so. Well, we came all the way from Guildford today because we were so impressed with the lineup and the fact that you've actually got politicians involved, which I think is so important to bring credibility and weight and understanding to everything. So thank you very much for having us, Douglas. And Property Tribes aims to be inclusive to all landlords, not just England. We do want to reach out to Welsh landlords and landlords north of the border. So we hope that some of your members will find their way to us as well, because together we're stronger.
Absolutely, and it's one voice, and that's what it's about, because otherwise they will continue to legislate things which they do not understand the full consequences of what that legislation will be. But they have their objective. If we don't tell them what works for us in Wales and England, we're not going to be able to continue to operate, and they're going to struggle when we get to that point.
Well, I want to wish you a very successful day. It's already shaping up to be a fantastic day. So have a great time with everybody, and thank you for having Property Tribes TV here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vanessa.